This is take two. Hello, it's Anne Lewis, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. Last night I attempted to show you how to use a hot foiling system and make these absolutely gorgeous cards. But I had some technical issues, so I've had to come back tonight to have round two. My camera is working tonight for the desk, which is what I had the issue with last night. So I know I haven't advertised this, but I found a quick half hour, well, nearly half an hour, to show you how to actually make those cards so you can see the hot foiling system actually in action rather than last night where I could just show you the pieces and explain what they actually do. So there is a part one to this video. I am just going to walk through how to make these gorgeous cards. Now I've got to say it's a whole day since I played with this, so I'm going off memory for what I did yesterday, but let's get started. See, technology still is a challenge. Hi-de-o. So this is the card we're going to be making. You can see how gorgeous it is, and you can see how bright and shiny that gold foil actually is. Now, I'm using Pool Party cardstock, so just our normal Stampin' Up cardstock, but for that top layer, I'm actually using two-tone cardstock because the two-tone works a little better, in my view. The foil seems to go on a little nicer. However, it doesn't mean you can't use our standard cardstock. It still goes on great. It's just a very fine line that made me choose the two-tone. And it also gave me a little bit of difference in contrast between my card base and also my top layer. Now, let's get started. So I've shown you all this, but this, just in case you're just coming in for this one, this is a the stamping hot foil system. This is the main bit of it. This is the, this is the protector that I put on my desk because this does get quite hot. This is what I put any hot dies on. So it's just a silicone sheet, which is what this is as well. And this is a little magnet, and I'll show you what that actually does. Now, there's a number of different ways you can use the hot foil system, but I'm going to stick to the instructions because they're what you're going to be using on day one when you actually, or if you actually jump in to get the hot foil system. I have to say, I'm being a little enamored with it. I didn't think I would be, but I found it really easy, and that was day one. We'll see what it's like day two when I haven't even thought about what I'm going to do tonight. So the first thing I do want to just go through, there's a whole lot of safety precautions. I encourage you to read them. I'm not going to go through them again. I went through them last night. It also tells you what the bits and pieces are. I will explain them as I use them, but it does come with two cords, one that actually plugs into here and one from your power supply, and they connect. Make sure you've got the right cords for Australian. I have heard of one instance, and it may not be in Australia, but somewhere the wrong cord got packed, and that's really no surprise. Right, now, so I'm going to plug this in. It takes six minutes to heat up. Now, one of the things you've kind of got to do is you need another power point so that you can plug this in. And you need a bit of space. Now, you can imagine my desk. It's got lights, it's got cameras, it's got laptops, it's got um, a mouse. It's got a lot of stuff on it. So my desk isn't ideal, but that's just the how it works when you're trying to do a live stream. Now, if you are watching this and you can hear and see me, please leave a message, especially after last night. So now I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to go through the how to use. Place the hot foil platform on the silicone platform station, which you saw me do. Plug in the power cord, which I've done. This is magnetic, so it doesn't actually go in, so don't force it. It just snaps into the right place. The platform beeps and all the lights briefly flash. During heating, approximately 6 minutes, the white timer light stays lit and the red light flashes. So I don't know whether you can see the red light flashing, but it is flashing here. Hi, Kerry, welcome. Hi, Gail, welcome to you as well. Lovely to see both of you here. Last night, I had some technical issues, so I've come back tonight to quickly, well, not so much quickly, but to show you to introduce you to the hot foil system is more like it. Now, it will then say, it will beep when the platform is ready to use, and the red light stays solid and the white timer button flashes. We've got 6 minutes to wait, so let's get our card ready to go. I'm going to shift some of this stuff out. I'm using my basic standard card size, which is 5.5 inches. So 5.5 inches by 8.25, which is just the width of A4 cardstock. I'm then going to score it at 4 1/8 inches. Now, to get my corners, well, this really nice and square, I'm just going to use my top of my paper trimmer, grab a bone folder. I can feel that heating up. Right. So there's my card base. And then I'm going to have, let's see, I'm going to have a basic white layer. And I can actually write this on, which is going to be 5.5 inches down, 5.5 inches. That's not right. Oh, it's 5.25 inches. We'll rub that out. 5.25 inches by 3 7/8 inches. So 3 7/8 by 5.25. So I'll leave that there. Then I have this piece, which you can see I've actually gone a little bigger than the actual card base. And the reason for that is so there's no foil sitting over on the edge, because what does happen, and it doesn't hurt anything, is, I can't even see it now. Oh, well, I can. I got this from last night. You can see that little line there, and that's just where the foil has actually touched the plate. So this is a little bigger. I will trim it down once I've finished. Now, the first thing I'm going to do while this heats up is I'm going to show you the products I'm using tonight. So I've got this gorgeous, it's from the Botanical Glow stamp set. Look at this gorgeous stamp set. And you might be a little hard to see, but it's actually full of texture. So when you stamp this, you can see a little bit of the texture on here. It's not a smooth finish. It leaves texture, which makes it look so much nicer. Now, because it's a big stamp, I'm going to, this is still heating up, I'm going to use just a little mat to give a bit of cushioning underneath it. I'm just using a piece of paper there to protect my mat, my paper down. Now, this is two-tone cardstock. Got another sheet here, and I'm hoping you can see the slight difference. They're the same, the slight difference in colour between those. That's why it's called two-tone. So it's slightly thinner than our normal cardstock. So I'm going to use some Pool Party. I'm going to ink this up. I'm sorry, no, you can't see that. I'm trying to keep away from that hot little hua there. I don't. I'll close up the ink pad. Now this will overhang. This is a big stamp set, so this will overhang. It doesn't really matter. I get to decide how I arrange this, whether I put it like that. I like it at a little bit of an angle going that direction, but you might have a different way of doing it. So I'm going to put it down, going to press. Big stamp, so I walk my hands around it. Yes, you can definitely feel that heating up. All right. Stamp that there. And let's just pull that off. And you can then just see how nice that stamp is. So it's a subtle finish. Get rid of these pieces. And then this is the die that we're going to be using. Now it's a hot foil die. So solid back. And this is where all the magic starts, from this side. I'm going to show you how that works once this actually gets fully on. Now, so the red light stays on when it's hot enough, so it's not there yet. We've still got a little way to go. But we're going to be using some gold foil. This is the gold foil. You get 2 rolls in a pack. Now, I think it needs to be a little gentle. So you've got to treat it a little gentle, I mean. So I'm just cutting off. I'm just measuring it by eye. I think I could actually cut it with the paper trimmer, but I'm not going to. Let's do it simply. There it goes. Did you hear that beep? So now it's ready to work. I can always take a little bit of this off. So you can see I've hung it over, so it's the right size, but you can see it's a little big, and you know that if it's too big, it's going to mark my tray, or can, depends on the die. I am going to trim this back a little bit. I don't. So now I've got it like that. Now don't worry about which direction that's facing, because we're going to go off the instructions. I'm going to grab a drink of water first. Righto. So let's get my instructions. Place the die flat side down on the platform and press the white timer button. The platform beeps and the yellow light starts flashing, which you may not be able to see that, but yes, it's flashing. And it'll take 1.5 minutes for that die to actually heat up. Now put it on the middle of the actual platform. The white timer button and the red timer button will stay lit. When ready, the platform beeps again and the green light turns on. All lights will be lit. Pretty simple. So I'm waiting for this button, which is the green button, to light. So I've got 1.5 minutes. Now, going to turn over the page because I may as well get prepared for how I'm going to layer these. So build your sandwich by placing these items on the die. That's my die in this oil order. So place the foil shiny size down. Now, so that's the dull size, that's the shiny size. So we're going to place that down in a sec. Then we're going to put the cardstock down because we want it to work its magic. We then going to add, now that's just beeped, so it's ready to go. We're then going to add this green plate, which is the hot foil shim, and then this goes on top. So let's go. This goes down, and what you'll see is it actually melts on. See, I'm hoping you can see that just drop a little bit. So my foil's shiny side down, cardstock next. Now I can't see because I'm not lining anything up. I'm just placing this on top of it like that. So I've got my cardstock down, the hot foil shim. Now these are marked. So it actually says hot foil shim. So let's put this on there. And then we're going to put the hot foil spacer, which is just a clear acrylic plate. All right. Then it says unplug the cord. Remember I said that's just a magnetic finish. I'm hoping, can you see that? So it just taps in. Not going to need that anymore. Now, this is hot. So I'm going to just shift it over because I need plenty of room. Whoops. Plenty of room for my Pattern Emboss machine. So we'll open it up. Now, there's never a lot of room on my desk, as you know. So this is cold on this end. I'm just going to bring it back over. See, it's got a handle, so that's easy to put through. So you're going to turn it around. This is not hot. It's warm, but it's definitely not hot. And we're just going to get it to there and gently feed it through. You're going to feed it through slow. Now, sometimes when we got dies, we go as fast as we possibly can. With this, we're just going to go consistent. It's not difficult. All right. Now, I don't want to pull this out by the handle, which is kind of what you think. Now, probably, I think it would work better putting the handle through first. But I haven't had that much of a play with it yet. So I'm just picking up. It's not hot. I'm going to put it back on my silicone mat. Get rid of the big shot of the Pattern Emboss. Pick it up and so you can see what's going to happen here. So there it is. So I've just placed it on there. Now, this mat is to put that hot dye on. So let's peel this off bit by bit. Oh, that was pretty quick. Normally, that will lift up with it, but you can actually see how it's all gone on. And it's perfect. All right, now, I'll get rid of this. And this. So now I'm hoping you can see how gorgeous that is. Now this die, just in case you think these are little errors there, that's how the die is actually made. How nice is that? Let me know what you think. Now I'm going to grab, have I got a, normally that comes up. Actually, I'm just going to pick up a pencil, pick that off. Comes off easy as. You can see how, you can see where it's applied the dye is actually see-through. Now I'm keeping these bits supposedly supposedly there's something coming that will actually make them useful. Now, the idea of this is a little magnetic die picker-upper, and so I can do that. Where'd you go? Now I'm just going to slide this across. And to be honest, I'm not finding it awkward, and I'm pretty sure that's only warm, to be honest. I'm going to put that out of the way just to give me some working area. And you'll see just how this card comes together. And it is pretty darn simple. Now, I think I'm liking that this way, but you get to choose. Big fan of leaf dies and stamps. These were the ones I got when I ordered Yes. This was my first one actually in my box. So I need to cut this down so it will fit the front of my card. And I get to choose how I actually do this. But I want this. I've got to think about this. I want this 5 1/8 down this way. So I'm going to trim a little off. I need it about there. And I'm probably spin this around. Now I get to choose where I cut this. I think the more you use these dies, the more you actually get used to it. And then width, I'm going to do 3 3/4. So I don't want to cut so everything's in the center. I will make this a little different. Yep. Now, as I said, easy card. Hopefully that's going to sit on there. It does. I'm just going to use some multi-purpose adhesive. Hide that so I don't have to rub it out. Hopefully you can see this. Grab some dimensionals to pop this up a little bit. Now I'm just going to plug this back in because I've got a second card to make. Should have done that before, shouldn't I? We'll see. So I used a glass mat because some of my layers on my desk, I wasn't sure whether they'd be heat proof, but I don't think it matters. I know, so pop this up. I'm hoping I do. I have already embossed a little happy birthday, which will then just sit down the bottom here. I get to choose where I put it. I want to pop that up as well. Then I just add a sentiment on the inside. Now, while I wait, I can actually, I've got a basic white piece of cardstock. Now I did this in embossing so you could see the difference in colour. Because someone asked me, why wouldn't we just emboss that, like heat emboss it? Can you see the difference in the shine between that gold foil and embossing? So it makes a big difference. It's just got so much shine to it. Now I've got do have a basic white piece here. I'll cut it down. And I keep most of my cards to a standard size, which just means I don't have to think too much. Sorry. I'm turning it around because I always use the professionally cut edge. This is a little bit better than something that's hand cut. So I can put this on here. Then I'll stamp it with a message later. You don't need to see me do that. I'm just using a bit of time whilst this is heating up. Rightio. So there's card 1. So what do you think? Is it worth all the hype? For me, it is, but it may not be for everybody. Okay, so the next card we're going to do is this gorgeous one here. It's got a lot more work on it, a lot more work. So I've kept it super simple. Let's. Oh, still got everything packed up from last night. So I use soft sea foam for this colour here because I thought with the silver it would really pop. And again, you can see I've made it a little bit bigger so I can cut it down later. As you get to know the system a little more, you'll probably be better at planning that. As I said, I'm just erring on the side of safety. So I'm using the Garden Silhouette hot foil dies. I'm going to be using the silver foil this time. And look how gorgeous that actually is. Now, you heard the beep? So I'm going to go back to my instructions until I get to really be familiar with it. I'm going to place my die down. I decide which way is up and down onto here to let it. I pick that up a little. Yeah, I just want it in the middle. All right, and then, so I'm placing the die down. The platform beeps, and it's 1.5 inches. The white timer button and the red light stays lit. The platform beeps again, the green light turns on when it's ready. There we go. So I've got 1.5 minutes to wait. So let's get this card ready to be assembled. I'm just double checking, 5.5 inches by 8.25, which I know it is. I'm going to score at 4 1/8. Oh, this is heating away. All right. Spin this around just to get this nice and even. There's many ways you can do this. I'm just finding this one, and I go through lots of stages as to how I do stuff. This is how I'm doing it at the moment. Now, let's get this out on my desk. So I've got this. I've got the white layer. I don't think I've got one cut down, so get that trimmer back. It's going to be the same size as the last card. So 3 7/8 inches by 5.25. I need to read my instructions. I have a feeling I haven't pressed the button here. Let's go back. Honey, place the die flat side down. Done that. Press the white timer button. That might be what I didn't do. And now we're right. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you jump ahead. All right, so that's going to go on there. So this is going to be the piece that I foil. So let's grab some of the silver. I've got one of these open. That's the one I've opened. So you can see I can't use the foil that way. Rather, you could with some dies, but not with this one. So let's turn it around. I'm going to see. Let's give this a go. See if I should be using my trimmer. I'd be using, so we've got to spread that through. I know that this is 5 and, well, it's a little more. I'm just going to do 5, just under 5.5. All right. Let's see if that, oh, that cut easy as. So that's a good little trick. That works a lot better than me trying to cut it with scissors. I know, so it's ready for the sandwich. So I'm going to cut this little piece off, which is just, see if I can cut it just as easy as that other one that I just did. That was pretty simple. Should I be keeping these all pieces? Haven't worked that out yet. What do you think? Hi, Carol. How are you? Yes, we're off and going. Okay, where are my instructions again? Because I want to stick to them, except they walked. Here they are. So we're up to, it's ready to go. I've got the die down. Oops, you didn't want that to happen. Build your sandwich by placing the shiny side of the die, of the foil, which is this one. And we'll put that down. And, oh, wait a minute. Let's bring it back to the desk so you can actually see what I'm doing. Over here. I know, so you can see it now. I'll push it down a little bit. I know, so there's the shiny side. Put it down like this. Oh. I know. Then I'm going to add the Secret C cardstock. So I'm making sure, if it mattered, the other one it did matter for Carol, the other one it did matter because I'd stamped it. Make sure that the right side is down. On this one, it doesn't really matter. Then I'm going to use my 2 shims. My first shim, which is the hot foil shim. Let's go back and make sure I'm doing this correctly. Put it down like that. Then I'm going to be using the hot foil spacer. I'm going to do that. Unplug the cord. All right, so that's easy. Just going to give myself a little more room. Clean up, grab my Pardon Me Boss machine. To be honest, I don't like feeding this through, not keeping the handle this side. I know it causes a bit of issue. Now, I'm going to go nice and slow, consistent. And I'm not racing it through because I want that foil to have enough time to actually stick. Now, don't want to pull it back, because if I pull it back, that die might actually shift, and we don't want that. So let's put this down here like this. That's a lot easier than what I did last time. Right out. Get rid of the cut and emboss machine. Bring this back. I know. So we're going to take off the spacer. We're going to take the hot foil shim. Now, the last time I did this, it actually came off so easy. It disappeared, came off at the start. I'm just using a pencil. So I've pulled up the paper. Now that's still got all the foil on it. So all I have to do is gently, and it is a gentle, is peel that back. Can you just see how gorgeous that is? I love this. And that is just so, so easy. I'm throwing that piece away. Now again, this die might be hot. So I'm grabbing my magnetic die holder. Not sure the technical term for that. Grabbing my silicone mat to drop this on. Now, big dies like this might drop, so I would slide it across like that. Put this out of the way. Put this out of the way. Rightio. So there is what we just hot foiled. It's a wow. That's what I said. I think the hype is worth it, but whether it's worth it for you is a decision for you. So let's come back. Now, I'm going to trim this down again because I want it to be 5 1/8 inch long. And as you can see, I've got some edges that aren't foiled. So let's trim them off at least. I just said 5 1/2 inches. I want 5 1/8 inch. I know, so let's get it right. Now this little piece, you could have put on the inside. There's a lot of things you could do with it. Now, I've got another piece here where the foil didn't go right to the edge. That's okay, because remember I made mine a little bigger. This is 3 3/4. I'm just cutting off one side this time because it suits me, because I can put that on the inside of the card to decorate it. Now, as I said, I'm keeping this card really simple because really the star of the show is how nice that foil looks. And if you do too much with it, you'll kind of lose the effect. Now, if you did it on some basic white, you could actually colour that in. With some blends. I know. I'm going to pop this up. Now that you've seen this, I know you haven't seen the final card. I'm looking for my, they've walked, but they'll turn up. Oh, here they are. My dimensionals. What would you rate these two cards out of 10? Is it a 5 or is it a 10? Or is it somewhere in between? Let me know. All right. Getting rid of all these backs. Could use my little paper piercer. Look at that. Now, I don't use, the back of this is actually strawberry slush. I don't use that colour very much. It's not one of my favourites, but with Secret Sea and this silver, it just absolutely pops. Now, this time, I got a really simple sentiment of, I can't even remember the name, All Greetings, I think it is. And I'm not sure that's the right one. Looks a bit plain. So I'll find one once we finish here, and we'll add a greeting. Then on the inside, have I got another basic white layer? Well, what I would do, have I got a basic white? Here's my basic white layer. No, it's an envelope. I will have one on my desk somewhere. I have so much stuff on my desk. And it's still here from last night. I'll grab some from here. So I'll just put the inside piece. Better late than never. Hi, Nola. How are you? Oh, Carol's going 11. Gail says at 10. And I think for me, it's something similar to that. I'd never used a foiling system before, but since I have, I've kind of gone, wow. And there's some Christmas dies, hot foil dies coming out. I can't wait. Now, so I'm going to run that down. And it is a bit like, I know I was very careful reading the instructions, but that's because these are the like 4th cards that I've made. Put that like that. Add a sentiment later. What does everybody else think? I can see there's a few of you watching. Out of 10, what would you give it? And you won't upset me if you don't give it a 10. Rightio. So here are my 2 cards that I've done using the hot foil system. So this one's with the gold. How I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed how easy that actually was. I mean, that's basically my 2nd time using it. And yes, I read the instructions, but till you get used to it. But it makes sense because really put the die down with the decorations up. I do want to show you something else. Where is it? There's something else on my desk to show you. Just want to do this. Oh, it's walked. That's okay. And then just put your foil on with your foil, the right side of the foil facing down. Add the cardstock, and then your two plates on top. Run it through the Big Shot, and you're ready to go. So, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and thanks for your patience from last night for those who have come back. I really appreciate it. I love these cards. And I think I'll be doing some more hot foiling, but next week I'm going to be doing some hot foiling and some masking of some gorgeous butterflies. So if you like the hot foil system or still like to know more about it, next week will be the week to go. So thanks everybody. I really appreciate you coming back tonight and being patient. So Nola's a 10 out of 10 as well. I just think whether it's the right piece of equipment for you or not, the cards turn out fabulous. So thanks everybody. I will see you next Wednesday night, and we'll be doing some more hot foiling. Then we'll return to craft along with me. Bye for now.